everybody? Douglas Blair Roberts, the Super Vader 400, and of course the brown skinned human coming back at you with another video game commentary review. And this time I'm reviewing I'm reviewing I'm reviewing the Killer Instinct video game franchise. The the last Killer Instinct 2013, since I'm having a hard time capturing the footage from that video game, that will be late. And that will be a tie-in with the 2013 Killer Instinct comic book. But this right here is my first in a series of Killer Instinct video game playthroughs. Yes, I said video game playthroughs. I haven't done one of these in a long time because of computer space problems, and various computer problems and various problems, personal problems such as my dog, who you can no longer see in the background right here. You can usually see him in the background sleeping on the bed. Yeah, he passed away August 7th, 2020. For those of you who didn't know, and that's where I've been for several weeks. But one of the things that's helped me cope with his passing was doing these type of video game playthrough reviews with you people. So I'm back, bringing this back. So with that being said, I apologize for the poor quality, and I also apologize for the lack of sound. My Xbox One does not have sound. I have to get a sound converter box or either a brand new television. I have a computer monitor down here that you'll be seeing. You'll see the intro for the Killer Instinct games. For 1 and 2, you'll see the intro, and then my review. So with that being said, let's get started right now. We can do whatever we want when we put our minds to it.
That's no badge. This is a coupon for a tanning salon. You're fake.
Okay, you got me. I'm not a cop, but I really am from the future. And there really is this bowler hat guy.
Oh, here we go again.
Stole a time machine, came to the science fair, and ruined your project.
My project didn't work because I'm no good. There is no polar hat guy, there is no time machine, and you're not from the future. You're crazy!
Ho ho! I am not crazy.
Oh, yeah, Captain Time Travel? Prove it! Yes, that's what I thought.
You're not from the future. Will you go back to the science fair?
Yeah, sure, whatever you say. Hey, let go of me! What are you doing? Let go of me!
Okay.
What is this? Where are we going?
To the future. Is this good enough for you?
This is not anything I could have imagined. This means I can fully change my life.
That's right. You can. Next up, science fair. Fix your memory scanning.
Hey, I'm not gonna fix that stupid memory scanner.
What?
Wilbur, this is a time machine. Why should I fix my dumb invention when you can take me to see my mom now in this ship? I can actually go back to that night and stop it from giving me up.
The answer is not a time machine. It's this.
This? You wanna know where
Okay, everyone. Now it's time for part. It's time for the third and final part of my video video game commentary arcade Doug's arcade review of Killer Instinct 1994 port for the Xbox One, which is a part of the much larger Killer Instinct 2013, the definite version. I've defeated everyone. I've defeated everyone except for the boss characters. Now I'm playing as Jago. Now I'm fighting Fulgor, and then I'm gonna fight. Then I'm gonna fight Idol. So with that being said, let me press resume game and get started. As I said in part one, the very first part of this video, my Xbox One doesn't have sound. When I purchased it, I got a my mother bought me a computer monitor instead. So I have the choice of either getting a television, another television, or a sound converter box to hook my PC speakers up to. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Yeah, Killer Instinct 1994. I've been waiting for a console port of this game for a long time. The Super Nintendo version is awesome. It was awesome. It was an awesome start to the Killer Instinct franchise and a pretty awesome port, but it was weak compared to this. It was just, despite being one of the first 3D games, it was just a regular 2D fighter. Regular 2D fighter. It lacked the cool 3D movements this game had on certain stages, particularly the building based stages. That's Black Orchid, Cinder, and Spinals stage in the first one. those were also my favorite stages because this game, it had the complex fighting engine of the Street Fighter games and the SNK games based at the time. The guy who made Killer Instinct said the SNK 80K game World Heroes, the Street Fighter franchise inspired the core gameplay, the core in-depth fighting engine you see. In-depth fighting engine you see. And this game popularized the super combos, even though the SNK games and the Sega Genesis game Eternal Champions, which was a SNK like game exclusively made for the Genesis, um had an early sample of those. Yeah. Um they took that and they took that the cool graphical gameplay from I mean the violence, gore and comedy of a Mortal Kombat. They mixed it all together to create a brand new, unique game, and that was Killer Instinct, one of the coolest games to ever come out. The as you can see, as you can see, this game is about timing your is not only is about timing your attacks, and is about the cool killer, hyper, and super ultra combos. I pulled off killer and hyper, but never an ultra. Special moves come out real easy, just like in Um, Street Fighter characters in the game includes Jago, the Tibetan monk who I'm playing as now, and one of my favorite characters to play as, and one of my favorite characters in the fiction. Then you got then um, you got Cinder, the fire, the fire mutant, the fire guy, one of my next favorite players to play as. Then you got Glacius, the ice alien, another favorite, another favorite character, to play as. Then you got the duologist, the second protagonist of the game, Black Orchid. Then you got TJ Combo, the third, the third, um, the third protagonist and one of the posters of the Killer Instinct franchise, the early Killer Instinct franchise, is the character of TJ Combo. Combo, who also like playing as, but he's the slowest and one of the weakest in the video game. Weakest of the main characters. Not the weakest in the game, but the weakest of the main characters. Then you got Chief Thunder, the Indian, who is the weakest of the heroic main characters. He will pretty much be the fourth major character in the game. His role in Killer Instinct is scarce, but he has a big role in the first one. Then you have then you have the bad guys. The first one is one of the sub boss who I just defeated, the cyborg Fulgore. Then you have Spinal. Then you have Spinal, who's okay, but he's not my favorite. But he's a great boss. Then you have Riptor, an early preliminary jobber opponent for you to you want to beat Killer. You want to get into Killer Instinct. Riptor followed by Spinal are the characters to beat. Then you got the worst character in the game and that's Spinal. Because as you can see, I always struggle with him. It always takes me several tries to beat him. You got Spinal, the worst character in Killer Instinct, because he's so cheap. First off, he's not that good, so they give him an infinite number of combos, and he has the power to regenerate. So all the time spent damaging him will go out the window unless you can find a way to finish him. And finish him off is really just purely luck, man. Jago, Glacius, Cinder are the only characters I can beat him with. And the only characters I have beat him with besides those three are Combo, barely, Thunder, barely, um, and Black Black Orchid. I've also beaten with Fulgore, who I forgot about. Those four are the only characters I can beat. I can beat I can beat Idol with. Him and his counterpart from the second game are my least favorite characters in the game. His counterpart and rival Garganos, but I'll talk about him in Killer Instinct 2. He's even more cheaper than this boss is, but I'll save that for Killer Instinct 2. Um, um, yeah, um, yeah. So yeah, love the 3D graphics. Like I've said in plenty of videos. Back in 1995, when I played this for the first time on the Super Nintendo and then in the arcades, I had not seen anything. Even though the rest of the world had moved on, I was still playing 2D games. So I had not seen anything that looked this good. And this right here and Street Fighter 2 were my first fighting games. And I had not seen anything that looked good. This good. The Killer Instinct, Donkey Kong Country, and Super Mario 64 were the first pure 3D games, pure 3D games that I played and was blown away. And to this day, I'm still blown away. I'm more blown away by these models than I am the updated 2013, modern day 2013 version. And actually, this could easily pass for a game of today, or at least an Xbox Live, PlayStation Network game, if it wasn't for its limited sound and limited framework when it comes to cutscenes and small content. Those are the only things that will make it feel like it's an old video game. And the quality is awesome. I have the quality turned down for this review, but the quality and graphics are awesome. That's one of the reasons I waited till I got to the final boss to start recording, because the worst levels, Glacius, Spinos, and Cinders look atrocious on this game right here. See, I'm just losing the Idol. I hate Idol. I hate Idol. Killer Instinct created the perfect bad guy. Perfect bad guy. Not only um when they created him and his counterpart Garganos, they created the perfect bad guy. Not only their storylines are okay, but they're the villains, and they're super hard to beat. What's even more amazing is how cheap Idol is, yet somehow in the comic book, in the comic book, it's both Jago and Orchid defeating Idol by shoving him back in the portal. But according to the actual canon of the game, Orchid alone defeated him, defeated Idol, which is hard to believe because Orchid in this game is much weaker than Jago. I barely defeated Idol with Orchid and Garganos. With Jago, I've defeated Idol the most times with Jago. He's perfectly made for beginner players. Orchid is too, but she's physically weak. Next, so yeah, like I said, my three favorite levels are the building stages, which are Orchid, Spinal, and Cinder's level. On this level, you can perform the stage fatality. This game has fatalities, which are called Killer Instincts. This game has fatalities, and the fatalities are awesome and make Mortal Kombat, especially the early Mortal Kombat's, look tame in comparison. I like all the fatalities, with my favorites being the stage fatalities where you can knock the person off the building, and if you're on Orchid stage, you'll send them comically flying down to falling onto TJ Combo's car. Then, if you knock them off Spinal stage, they'll fall off the bridge onto some. I think in the Super Nintendo version, it's water. In the in the arcade version looks like acid. Um, then you got Cinder's level where you fall off the top building into some lava. Yes, Cinder's the fire character, so of course his level will be lava. Then you have orchids orchids so those are my three favorite levels, followed by every other level in the game. Awesome level design, and you saw I love the cool the cool cutscenes at the beginning and end of the game when you beat them. That's one of the other things I hate about this game. I mean, this game has an awesome storyline, but while the story structure for the tournament ladder is much better here than in the Mortal Kombat series, not a lot of storytelling to tell this awesome sci-fi fantasy-based storyline, tournament-based storyline you have. And I can understand, I guess I can understand not having it here, but it should have definitely been in the second one, which I'm going to get to when I get to Killer Instinct 2. Um, Killer Instinct 2, this storyline is much more is better despite focusing more on gameplay. Is better story structure than its Mortal Kombat counterpart and predecessor. Storyline. So yeah, I love the cutscenes. Wish they had them throughout the game, not just at the beginning and end. But one thing I do like was that this wanted to focus more on gameplay. So what they did was they turned it they adapted their entire game into a comic book. Comic book which is one of the best comic books adapted for a video game, and tells you several things the game doesn't tell you, but also contradicts the game in several areas. Storyline is set in the future. I think it's a futuristic world. Can't I can't remember whether it's a futuristic world or whether it's a futuristic world of the 90s. Well, anyway, in a futuristic world, the mega corporation Ultratech has gained control of most of the world through a tournament called Killer Instinct, which not only features human participants, but 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 aliens, ice aliens, dinosaurs, mutant dinosaurs, and reanimated corpses, and even beings from a different world, who was brought from his world of limbo through I think a portal by the mysterious chairman of Ultratech, who doesn't appear in the game, but he does appear in the comic book, unnamed. Everyone has their motivation for entering the Killer Instinct tournament, but the story mostly revolves around the number one protagonist, Jago, who, guided by the Tiger Spirit, it is his destiny to to destroy Ultratech, and by doing this, he must fight and kill the cybernetic Fulgor monster, monster. Then you have Orchid storyline, who her mission is also to bring down is to infiltrate Ultratech, survive the tournament, infiltrate Ultratech, and Bring their secrets to the light, and she is the one who defeats the main antagonist, Idol, which leads to the events of the second game. Then you have TJ Combo, who is a boxer equipped with cybernetics. He was stripped. When it was found, he was stripped of his title, and now he enters the tournament for the love of the money and the belt that was taken from him. And then yeah, those are your three main characters. Then the subplots include Glacius, the ice alien who was captured and forced to compete in the tournament to prove humans and the other beings are superior, and won and earned his freedom by slaying and defeating Sindor, the fire monster. Sindor was a criminal who was mutated accidentally and promised a cure for, I think, for his mutation, or I think his freedom. I can't remember which one. If he yeah, this is Jago's ending. If he if he quote unquote if he quote unquote oh yeah, if he quote unquote survived, won the tournament, instead in his ending he wins and eludes the robotic police officers, the cybernetic cops, by flying, by turning into fire and teleporting away. Where but in the actual story he got killed by glaciers, as revealed in the second game, Killer Instinct 2. Then you got Chief Thunder, who is an Indian shaman warrior who enters the tournament to find his lost brother Ego, who competed in one of the previous Killer Instinct tournaments, and his brother Ego brain gets ripped out and placed inside of the Fulgore monster, which means Ego's brother, which means Chief Thunder's brother is Fulgore, the sub one of the main antagonists of the game, is sub boss of of the um of the video game. And in the storyline, um Orchid defeats Idol, which causes a time rip, taking them 200 years in the past and setting up the next game, Killer Instinct 2. Jago defeats and kills Fulgore, but Jago kills Fulgore, but the tiger spirit betrays him and reveals he was Garganos all along, and he engineered and instrumented, manipulated the events of this game, and including Idol's destruction. And Idol's destruction set Garganos free, setting us up for Killer Instinct 2. Well, this was my review of Killer Instinct 1994. Prepare for 2. If you don't want to hear the rest of the music and see the rest of the gameplay, turn the video off right now.